I'm your brother from another mother, Evil Anarchy, and today we're going to be checking out the Gundam Assemble booth at Bandai Card Games Fest, Las Vegas 2026. Now, before we get into the video, if you want to see more from this event, go check out my main channel where I post vlogs, and I'll have a whole video dedicated to this, going through the booths, the activities, the freebies, the stage shows, the signings. I'll be giving my opinion on the good and the bad, so go check that out if you want more. Today's video, though, is just going to be dedicated to the Gundam Assemble booth. Now, there's two sections to this video. There is the play session and the paint session. Now, the paint session is going to be a little dull, and I'm not going to go into detail right now, but the play session is one of the first times they've let people play this game in public. People were telling me it plays a little bit like Warhammer. I've never played the game, so I don't know. I will say, in my experience playing this game, there's a lot of cards, so it is still kind of card game-esque, but the figures do have a line of sight. There is a timeline, so, you know, actions take you, the bigger actions move you down the timeline, and if you're further down the timeline, your turn's going to come later, so you kind of want to strategically use your abilities to not move you too far down the timeline. In this play session, the first 3 turns on both sides are a tutorial, and then there was about 3 turns of free play. I will say, as someone who was on the Xeon side with Sharizaku, all of my units were more close range, and I could tell if the mission was to continue on, because it's a mission game mode, that I would have ended up losing. I lost a unit at the end, and I could just tell that my units were a little bit weaker than the Federation forces. But without, getting too much into detail, let's just get into the video.
I'm atrocious at actually playing card games, and in most games, so you'll probably win. But I think we're following the tutorial.
There's a tutorial, so I'm assuming Amuro wins. If not, it's a stalemate because you have Char that kills him for some reason.
Oh man, this guy's got the cool heat hawk.
If you remember the locations of the card, the pieces, I highly recommend you turn them and just do like a close up of them. Because I did a couple of them and they just look awesome.
Oh hell yeah, I get you. Did you do the paint session already?
No, I'm gonna try to do that tomorrow. I feel like that's gonna be a little bit more time consuming, and I'm wearing white.
Okay, so there's 3 options apparently, and you get to do one.
Okay.
So I recommend doing it multiple times.
Okay. It's more of where to put it in my bag because nothing's tied up.
I like how this guy's just prone like a weirdo.
I can actually bring him up for you if you want.
Yeah, but I'm like, and it's hard to get a good shot of him, huh?
Yeah, I rotated him just to see what would happen.
So let me see. Let me get that. Let me get a little bit.
See him from like how.
Okay.
That's what I saw earlier. I was like,
Fake Dad. What's his name? What's his name? Fake Dad.
Well, I should probably.
There's one more. There's 3 different ones. One's holding a guy like this. There's Zuka and
Hello.
yeah, everyone's. I just want weed fucking.
Why do you got green things?
I'm not sure. I think they're fixing a couple of things.
If you are registered for the 12 o'clock Gundam Assemble demo, you have 2 minutes to report to check-in and find your way to your seat. Again, if you are registered for the 12 o'clock Gundam Assemble demo, you have 2 minutes to get to the check-in window. Thank you.
I'm doing this one. I think these are done. I would double check.
Do I get green thingies?
What's up?
Do I get the green thingies too?
Oh no, nobody gets green things right now.
I haven't touched anything.
Yeah, no, we didn't reset this thing.
Okay, no.
No worries, sorry. So let me check. This is from the blue side, yeah? Alright, so for this.
I'm on the cooler side, but I've heard I might lose.
Well, you know, if you guys get to play a whole game, then it's a win for everybody, right?
True.
I started first 30 or 40 subscribers, bro. I think you guys are good here. That looks good. You guys have your cards. You have your cards good. We're good. Let's get something.
I'm to read.
You can move up to 3 X's.
How do we know if it's occupied by? Yeah.
Well, I assume because there's a guy.
Yeah. No, it's more of the occupied by enemy units. I thought it was area.
I'm working on this. Okay, mark on this. Here. Yeah.
Energy token, garrison token. Attack. These tactics.
If you wanted to look at these for free, but that's easier, whatever works.
Okay.
You guys are
So you can see through your teammates,
Yeah.
and then you can see downwards, and you can see upwards if they're on the ledge.
Yeah. So max visibility, second max visibility, nothing.
Yeah. And then you can't see through the pillars at all.
Yeah.
Shocker.
Yeah. Explains how Ford died. If you haven't seen Zeta.
Oh, there's more. Oh god.
Victory point. Being units.
Okay, so I'm assuming these are my shuffled.
These three, yeah. Your set in hand. Or your tactical cards that you get after shuffling, yeah. I want to be nosy. I don't want to look at it.
Cheater!
I
Cheater!
don't know what they do.
He's cheating!
There's a blue one, there's a red one, and there's a green one. I don't think
He's got duplicates. He's taking my minifig.
It's at the lowest timeline.
Water. I see water.
There's a water?
It says terrain effects water.
I think this is just one of the trains to nothing.
Yeah, I don't think there's any water.
For a second I thought it said when an opponent spills a drink. I'm like, oh no. Oh no.
When an opponent spills the
Good
drink.
afternoon and welcome pilots to the Gundam Assemble demo here at Bandai Card Games Fest Vegas. Y'all are the second in the world to ever play the Gundam Assemble demo today. We just had one session finish. This is the second one, so congratulations. Got to have a lot of fun. There's a lot to the game. We're going to cover it all today. So welcome to Gundam Assemble, the fast-paced tactical miniatures game that puts players directly into the cockpits of legendary mobile suits from across the Gundam universe. Each game of Gundam Assemble revolves around a unique scenario. Some are open-ended tactical skirmishes, others recreate pivotal moments from Gundam's past history, and scenarios define setup and victory conditions. Players earn victory points for defeating enemies, capturing key objectives, and completing mission-specific goals. When the smoke clears, the player with the highest score claims victory. Just a quick heads up to everybody here. All of the visuals, cards, and unit stats that you see are pre-release, right? They're demo, they're not final. These are not what the actual release is going to look like. So in addition to that, please do not take any of the game tokens, any of the miniatures, or the dice or anything like that. Please leave the game state as you finish playing. Do not take anything with you. So now we're going to move into the scenario for this tutorial. In this tutorial, you'll be playing the scenario Operation Sleeping Leviathan. The mission location is East Africa. Mission details are intelligence reports enemy mobile suits advancing on the location of an abandoned coastal fortress, intent on breaching its walls and securing a powerful weapon within. Control of the weapon will give the enemy control of the surrounding ocean and tip the balance of power in their favor. All available forces are to advance on the fortress immediately to secure key strong points and prevent enemy incursion. We cannot allow the weapon to fall into enemy hands. So now we're going to move to our basic game concepts. And I just want to reiterate here, you're going to look at the timeline system on the left side. Please do not touch any of the miniatures or the tokens or anything on the timeline itself, as those are going to dictate the flow of the gameplay as we move through these first few scripted activations. So, obviously, as discussed just now, part of the game is the pre-game setup. So we've done all of that for you here, this time in order to get you into the action faster. Before we dive in though, we are going to cover some of the game's core mechanics. I am going to tell you up front, there is a lot in this opening tutorial. There are a lot of mechanics and we're going to move through them very quickly. We do have 2 floor judges. If you have questions and fall behind during the activations, please raise your hand, but we will not pause to go through each activation until everybody is ready. So you will have plenty of time after the tutorial to free play, ask questions, make sure that you're up to speed on the rules and all that good stuff. But for the sake of time, we are going to move through these first few activations to get you acclimated with the basics. So we're going to start with the timeline system. So take a look at the timeline track next to your game board. It has a token on it for each model on both players' teams. Everything you do in Gundam Assemble revolves around the timeline system. Performing actions with a unit moves their marker forward on the timeline track. That represents the time it took to complete that action. The game of Gundam Assemble moves through the 10-round timeline twice, which means choosing the right action for each unit in the moment is crucial. So now we're going to cover movement and additional core rules for the actions. So movement in this game is called advancing. That is the basic move action. When a unit advances, it may move up to 3 hexes. Terrain and enemies do impact your movement. You may not end a move in the same hex that the unit started in, or in a hex containing an enemy or an ally or a structure, unless specifically specified. You may stop your move at any time, but you may not take any other actions during your movement. So for example, you cannot move 1 hex, make an attack, and then move an additional hex. It has to be completed in one go, and some cards and abilities will also allow a unit to advance or take other movement actions. These effects are in addition to your unit's normal advance. So moving on to our primary actions, as you can see on the slideshow here, you must perform a primary action during your activation. So these are attack, dash, energize, and rescue. It's all laid out on your reference cards. We'll go over most of them in the first few rounds of this tutorial, so you don't need to worry about the very specific details of them right now. And then we're going to move on to unit cards. So your unit cards, you have 3 of those next to your game board as well. The unit cards will tell you everything you need to know about the mobile suits that you'll be using. They contain everything from stat information, weapon attack info, command abilities, pilots, traits, factions, all of that good stuff. Then we're going to cover tactic cards next. Tactic cards, you'll see 3 of those. They represent single-use effects that can be used at different times in a round depending on the card text. Command tactics cards can be used while you're activating a unit. Response tactic cards can be used during specific windows specified on the card. You'll begin each game of Gundam Assemble with a deck of 9, drawing 3 at the start of the game and 3 more after the end of the first phase. For this tutorial, we've chosen the 3 that you are going to start with, but normally it is random and it is private information. So you'll see them face up on your game board, but in a normal game, your opponent will not know what cards are in your hand. So now we're going to move on to tokens, of which you will see a lot. There are a lot of tokens on the game board in front of you. They represent everything from upgrades that can be picked up, scenario objectives, and more. Once again, we will cover all of the tokens and their various effects later on in the tutorial during the first few activations. So just a few miscellaneous things. Like I said, there is a lot to the game, especially when it comes to combat. There's line of sight, accuracy, status effects, things like that. We'll cover those later as they come up, but for now we have just enough to get started. So we're going to walk you through the very first 3 activations for each player, and then we're going to set you loose to free play. We're going to get started. All right, very first activation. So we all know that nobody's faster than the Red Comet, which is why Char, in his iconic red Zaku 2, gets the first activation of the game. When it's your turn to use one of your units, you'll perform what is called an activation. So that remember, during your activation, you must perform one of the primary actions at some point. Everything else, such as command abilities that are on your unit cards, command cards, advancing, are entirely optional. But what we're going to do here, Xeon players are going to start by advancing their Char Zaku 2 forward 3 spaces, and you're going to set him down in front of the enemy gun tank. You'll notice that you moved over a gap between elevated terrain while you advanced. Moving like this is called jumping. There are no movement penalties for moving like this, and you can freely move over enemy units and garrisons that are on lower terrain during a jump. So now that we've completed the advance for this activation, we're going to perform our primary action for Char Zaku 2. So what we're going to choose here is the attack. So we're going to declare our attack by announcing our target and the weapon we'll be using. For this attack, we're going to use Char's Heat Hawk weapon as shown on the unit card. Each weapon has distinct attributes. You'll see timeline cost, range, strength, critical hit effects, and sometimes extra weapon effects. So when you're attacking, when you choose a target and a weapon, first you check your range and your line of sight to the target. Since Char's Zaku 2 is adjacent to the gun tank, we don't need to worry about line of sight. If you are curious, though, line of sight is performed by drawing a line from the center of your model's hex to its target. Line of sight is blocked if there is an enemy or piece of terrain at your level of elevation between you and your target. Sometimes accuracy modifiers can also affect your ability to hit your target, but since that's not applicable here, we're going to ignore that, and then we're going to go ahead and cover the next part of this activation, which is the timeline cost. So for Char Zaku 2's Heat Hawk, you're going to pay the timeline cost for the attack by moving Char's token on the timeline track forward by 2. And that is the cost that's listed on the weapon description on your unit card. So that means Char Zaku 2, the next time he's going to be able to activate will be round 6. So now we're going to grab some dice. We've declared the attack, move forward on the timeline track, and we're going to roll the dice that are equal to the strength of the attack. So if you look at your unit card, in this case it's a 3. So go ahead and roll 3 dice. The way that hits work in this game is by default, a result of 4 or higher on a dice is a hit. Anything else is a miss. Naturally rolled 1s are always a miss, regardless of any accuracy modifiers you may have. Naturally rolled 9s and 10s are critical hits, regardless of any accuracy modifiers you have. So I'm assuming somebody here rolled a critical hit. Congratulations. So that's going to bring us to our critical hit effects. Each weapon has a critical hit effect. That can only happen once per attack, even if you roll multiple critical hits in that roll. So the Heat Hawk has a critical effect of fracture if you look at the unit card, and that is a status effect. So you're going to take a fracture token, and you're going to put that on the gun tank's unit card if you scored a critical hit. So the fracture token is the one that shows a shield. It's a little beige, and it's got cracks in it. You're going to put that on the enemy gun tank if you scored a critical hit, which is a 9 or 10. The way the fracture works is the next time that gun tank takes 3 or more damage, it takes an additional 3 damage. Once that is procced, it goes away. So it is not a permanent effect, but it applies on the next time that you take that 3 damage. 3 or more, I should specify. So we're going to go ahead and lower the gun tank's HP by placing damage counters on the unit card for the number that you rolled. So if you rolled 2 hits, you're going to put 2 damage counters on the gun tank. The damage counters are the 1s, the 5s, and the 10s.
Okay. How much health you got?
That ends the activation for Char Zaku 2.
So I'm at 7 now.
So we're going to move forward to the next activation, which is the Gundam RX-78-2.
I have a feeling you're going to jump.
I have a feeling it's just going to be a beam laser. That's 4?
No, it's 3. No, it's 3. Because I went 1, 2, 3.
The next unit to activate on the timeline is decided first by the round, then by which player activated a unit last.
Yeah, you jumped.
Then, by which token is on the top of the stack on that player's side of the timeline track. So since the Xeon player just activated last, and the Gundam ARC-78-2's token is on the top of the stack in the current round, that's who's going to go next. So our Earth Federation player is going to advance the Gundam ARC-78-2 forward to the hex directly in front of the Zaku 2 line breaker. Remember that we're jumping across terrain, and that means that there will be no movement penalty. So essentially the Gundam is going to do exactly what Char Zaku 2 just did. But instead of the gun tank, you're jumping in front of the Zaku 2 with a bazooka. All right, so for the Gundam's primary action, we're going to choose to attack the Zaku 2 with our beam saber. So again, let's take a look at our unit card and look at the corresponding unit to check the timeline cost, range, and strength of that attack. So once again, this is a range 1 attack. You are adjacent to the Zaku 2, so there is no line of sight penalty that you have to worry about. And then next you're going to pay the timeline cost of the beam saber weapon. So just like with the Char Zaku 2 token, you're going to move the ARC-78-2 token forward 2 on the timeline, because that is the cost of using that attack. And it should now be on round 7. And then we're going to roll 2 d10s, because the strength of the beam saber is a 2. And just a reminder, a 4 through 10 is a hit, a 1 through 3 is not.
Oh,
All right.
2 criticals.
Now hopefully we have some lucky Gundam pilots out there that rolled another critical hit. Congratulations. The critical hit here is the beam saber effect that says, after combat damage, gain a strength upgrade. This critical hit effect includes an after combat damage response, so we need to apply damage to the Zaku 2 line breaker before the effect happens.
If he gets 2
So that's
critical
the
hits, is it
timing
double?
window.
No,
You're going to lower the Zaku 2 line breaker's
Okay.
HP by the amount of damage done by the beam saber attack. So remember, you rolled 2 dice. If you rolled 2 hits, 2 damage. If you rolled 1 hit, 1 damage. Once you've done that, if you rolled a critical hit, you're going to take a strength token and you're going to place it on your ARC-78-2's unit card. What that does is it adds a strength to your unit's attacks going forward. That is a permanent buff. Every time you attack, you will get to roll an additional d10 for all of his attacks. The strength token is the upgrade token that is a red fist. If you do not see one of those and you see a bunch of gray tokens with arrows, flip those over and you should see one of the strength tokens. There are 3 types of upgrades that we will cover later, but for the beam saber effect, you will get a strength token.
Wait, what?
And that completes ARC-78-2 Grandpa's activation.
that,
So we're going to move to step 3, which is the
them trying
Xeon
to save
player's tactic card response.
Hey,
So we covered
what's on
these
the other
very
side of
briefly
that?
at the start. Xeon player, take a look at the 3 tactics cards in front of you. There should be a card that says Shattered Formation. As a reminder, tactics cards can be played as a response, command, or attack, and their type determines when they can be played. You'll notice that the Shattered Formation is played as a response, specifically an after combat damage response.
Okay.
So we're going to go ahead and resolve Shattered Formation. Since the Zaku 2 line breaker survived the beam saber attack, you're going to deal 2 damage back to ARC-78-2.
Aha.
And just a reminder, that means you're going to put 2 damage counters on the ARC-78-2 unit card.
Yeah, what's up?
So there is now nothing else for either player to do during this activation. Both sides have taken damage, so very briefly I'm going to cover what happens when a unit's HP becomes 0. When that happens, the unit is defeated and returns to the corresponding unit card. So it goes off the field onto the unit card, and the opposing player earns victory points equal to the VP value on that unit card. Defeated units' timeline tokens also are moved forward 2 spaces on the timeline to represent the time needed to get repairs to redeploy, and when it redeploys, it's able to redeploy from the base at the very bottom of your game board. All right, so now we're going to move to our next step, our activation for the Zaku 2 Enforcer. So since the Zaku 2 Enforcer is on top of the Xeon player's timeline token stack, that is the next unit's turn to activate. So that Zaku 2 Enforcer is going to move 2 hexes onto the higher terrain so that it lands between the neutral objective, which will be the gray flag, and the friendly garrison token, which will be the red token represented by the beam rifle, beam saber, and Gundam shield. So since this unit moved up 1 level of terrain, the move used all 3 hexes of its advance. Moving up costs +1 movement for each level of terrain ascended. Moving down levels does not affect movement cost, and other things like water can affect it, but in this scenario there is no water, so it's not something we have to take into account. So there's nobody around for our melee specialist to attack, because it only has a line, or it only has a range of 1 for all of its attacks. So what we're going to do instead is choose to rescue that friendly garrison for our action. So what you're going to do is pay the timeline cost of 2, remove the adjacent garrison from the board, and then you're going to give yourself 2 victory points for rescuing it.
Victory points?
And the garrison, just a
Are these the victory points?
Is the beam rifle, beam saber, Gundam shield. The objective is the gray flag, and we will cover that now.
Oh, there's different
You're going to move to
numbers.
end your activation. Ending your activation adjacent to or on top of a neutral objective contests that objective. So to win a contest, you must have more allied units on or adjacent to that objective. This is the Sakutu Enforcer, the only unit around. The Xeon player wins this contest. So you're going to take a control token on the objective
But there's different
with a red
numbers.
side facing
Just take the
up.
one.
If you only
Take
see
one, if you got 2.
flags that are blue, flip them over, they are double-sided. This objective stays under your control until an opponent wins a contest using the same rules above. You don't need to stay near it to control it, but you have to move back if your opponent attempts to take it, and you want to recontest
It
it
goes
and
red.
maintain ownership. Neutral objectives aren't scored until the end of a phase. In this scenario, the neutral objectives on the fortress in the center are worth 5 points. The 2 on the outside are worth 8. So that's going to complete the Enforcer's activation. So now we're going to move on to the gun cannon.
You guys got the objective? Great, great, great. You guys got the objective? You guys... So make sure now you grab the 2, and then you contested this one, so now that one's going to be on top of the grid.
Oh, it's on top?
Oh.
So, yeah.
I think it was a 3.
No, it was a 2.
Okay.
No, it's a 3.
So it's now time for our Federation player.
Oh.
Yours is supposed to be 3.
It's time for our Federation player to activate their gun cannon and advance forward, moving up to the level 1 terrain to land between the neutral objective and the friendly garrison. So essentially, the exact same thing that the Xeon player just did. You're going to move up those 3 hexes, 3 total, onto the position between the neutral objective and the garrison, costing 3 because of the movement penalty, and then you're going to resolve the contest at the end of the activation, but you're going to choose to rescue that garrison. So take your token, move it forward to take the friendly garrison, and then you're going to gain 2 victory points for that.
Rescue the garrison.
Wait, it goes on top?
I believe so. Rescue the garrison.
All right, just a reminder, we do have 2 floor judges to help you catch up in case that is too much information. I know that it is a lot of steps, and we will help you as soon as free play starts, but we just want to get through these scripted activations to get you familiar with the basics. So, we're now going to move to the Xeon player and activate a unit.
Okay.
So rather than advancing first, we're going to use our primary action to attack the RX-78-2 with the cracker grenade weapon. So take a look at your unit card, and we're going to pay the timeline cost of that attack, which is 2. So move the timeline token for the Zaku-2 line breaker forward to round 7 on the timeline track, placing its token underneath the Zaku-2 Enforcer because the Enforcer was there first.
Yeah, okay.
The cracker grenade has a range of 3, but since we're adjacent to the Gundam, we don't have to worry about line of sight. And the weapon strength is 2, so we're all going to go ahead and roll 2 d10s for this attack. All right, once again, do we have anybody lucky enough to score a critical hit? If you did, go ahead and add 1 damage to your total because the weapon's critical hit effect. For the purpose of this activation, is there anyone unlucky enough to score a hit at all? Perfect. We don't have to bend the rules for you. But if there is, just in case you aren't listening, if you did not roll a hit, you rolled a hit this time. For this, you're going to notice that the cracker
this is the Enforcer.
grenade has a effect.
That's Enforcer, right?
After combat
No,
damage,
Enforcer's Heat Hawk.
it deals 2 damage to every enemy adjacent to the target. So that enemy garrison that is next to the Gundam counts as an enemy.
And you take 2
So the
hits.
garrison is also going to take 2 damage from that weapon's ability. So we're going to remove the enemy garrison from the board. You're going to gain 2 victory points. And just a reminder that garrisons only have 1 HP. So that 2 HP, or the 2 damage, will destroy it.
Yeah, you have 3 range.
Now we're going to go ahead and move
Okay.
Oh, you moved.
that Zaku-2 line breaker. It is currently engaged. So what that means is that units that are engaged receive a -1 hex penalty to movement, and must target at least one of the enemies it's engaged with when making an attack.
So I take 2 damage.
So because we have a -1 penalty, we're still going to move 2 hexes. So what we're going to do for our advance is we're going to jump backwards across the gap to the hex that contains the energy token. So that's going to be the little triangle orange token, and you're going to move the Zaku over to it. So some abilities, such as the Xeon Zealotry command ability on that Zaku 2, require an energy to use. That energy token is used up when you choose an ability that requires it, but you get more energy by picking it up from another hex or using the energized primary action. So for every player that's moved over to it, make sure that once you move the Zaku over to that point, pick up the energy token and put it on your unit card. Now we could choose to use that energy command, but we are not going to for the purpose of this activation. So our final scripted action here is going to be the gun tank.
Okay, it's you. What are you gonna do to me, huh?
No idea, because I got lost on this play. No idea, because I'll be changing. I got lost on this play.
We're going to have the Federation player activate your gun tank. We're going to advance first, just like the Zaku 2, and because our gun tank is currently engaged with enemies, that means we only have 2 hexes of movement to work with. So just like the Xeon player did, but in reverse this time, you're going to jump backwards to the hex that contains the upgrade token. So that is the gray arrow token. Okay. Just like the Xeon player, you're going to pick up that token and flip it over. Those are randomized on the game board, and you're going to put that on your unit card. That is now a permanent upgrade that your unit has. So there are 3 types of upgrades that you can get. There is the red strength upgrade like we saw with the Gundam that adds an extra strength for every attack. There's the green speed upgrade, which adds 1 hex of movement to your advance action, so you can move up to 4 instead of up to 3. And then there's the blue shield upgrade, which deflects incoming damage on attacks. So whenever a unit would take damage, whether it's an attack or an effect, if it has an active shield, prevent 1 damage for every shield, and then flip that over. That is flipped over, no longer blocks damage until that unit's next activation. So then you'll flip it over and you get both shields next, or 1 shield, however many you have, on that next activation.
Okay.
So now it's time to try and even the victory points by attacking the enemy gun tank. The gun tank is going to attack the enemy garrison. No friendly fire here.
Okay.
Note that being adjacent to the garrison means that we are again engaged. So that means you have to attack the garrison that is closest to that gun tank. So even though the Gundam is Char's Zaku 2 is in range and line of sight to gun tank's weapons, we have to attack the garrison. So we're going to choose the 4-tube missile launcher attack on the gun tank unit card. We're going to move the gun tank's timeline token forward 2 spaces on the timeline track to round 8. And then we're going to follow the normal order of operations to complete the weapon attack. So let's go ahead and roll those d10s.
No, my
So we're going to ignore the
garrison.
weapon ability and critical effect this time since neither applies at the moment, and our target doesn't have any enemies adjacent to it, so status effects can't be applied to garrisons. If you failed to roll a hit on this one, once again, will count as a hit to destroy that garrison.
Oh, you went for the one behind you?
Yeah, it's the one closest.
Oh.
That's what she was expecting. So I'm the one closest regardless.
All right, that is it for our scripted activations. It is time for you to start playing on your own. So we're going to double check the timeline to make sure that everything is where it should be. And the next activation should be Char Zaku 2 on round 6. Round 7 should have the Gundam on top of the gun cannon. And then the Zaku 2 Enforcer on top of the Zaku 2. And then the gun tank should be alone on round 8. One last thing we want to discuss before we dive in, we need to talk about what happens when a phase ends. When a unit's timeline token moves past the end of the track, move it back to the start and finish counting the timeline cost. So if you're on 10 and you do something that costs 4, you're just going to count to 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just going to loop back around. That unit is done for this phase, and it won't activate again until the next phase. So once all those units have done that and moved past the end of the track, the phase ends. You'll give yourself your victory points based off of your neutral objectives that you've captured, which is 5 for the middle in the fortress, 8 for the outside, and then after the second phase is over, the game ends, and the player with the most victory points wins. You probably won't have time to finish both phases, but we should at least have time to finish the first. So good luck and have fun, pilots. Don't forget the info cards are at your table. We also have 4 judges, so please raise your hand if you have any questions about the game. And thank you for playing the Gundam Assemble demo. Like I said, 2nd in the world. Congratulations. Y'all have fun.
Woo! Okay.
So you start off this turn. So you get to do Charizard 2, because that activation fires off first.
Yeah, so I want to probably... So I can move and then I can do an action, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because that makes the most sense. So it makes sense that I would go like here, and then I would attack the gun tank with the machine gun.
Yes.
Because that's a range of 2, so it's 1, 2. And then it's a strength of 5?
Yes.
So I roll 5 die?
5 dice, yes. Surprisingly, yes.
And there's one thing in here I noticed. Are these all D10?
They're all D10.
They're all D10, okay. Some of them feel different. Okay. Okay. Come on, big money. Hit. All 5 hit.
All 5 hit. Is that a 9? That's a 9, that's crit.
No, that's a 6.
That's a 6?
Yeah.
And then hit check, roll 4 or higher to hit.
So you get 5 damage.
5 damage on gun tank.
Yeah. And then I have to move Char up 4 for the cost. So 1, 2, 3. So he's on 10.
Yes.
Dang. I don't know if that's good or not. And then I don't get any green thingies. I've got no bonuses. When do we draw cards?
They don't specify, but I think it's the start of the next phase.
Oh, okay. So we got so we get 3 cards for each phase, basically. Okay.
Yeah. I think I have an after attack. So I will actually do that. What is that? I will actually do that. I will activate Earth Confederation Shield.
Okay.
After attack roll, an allied unit is dealt -2. So I lose 2 damage.
Okay.
I think that's how I'm reading
Let me
it.
see. Yeah, because it's orange like this one, and this one was reactive.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that's after your roll. No, it's just it says -2 damage. So I'm, like,
Okay.
I'm assuming I remove 2 damage.
So you take 3 instead of 5.
Yeah. So that goes.
Um,
So that goes away.
Your active unit moves 2, then push 1 adjacent enemy unit and deal 1 damage to it. Char Zaku 2 makes an additional dash at TL0. What's TL0? Timeline 0?
Yeah. I think that's one of those earlier game moves, like you choose.
Okay.
Because you fully completed the role of Char there.
Yeah. But I don't.
Yeah.
Makes an additional dash?
So the dash is moved with lots of 2 timelines. So you skip them around, I think. I think you can still use it, I just don't know when. So that might be a good question.
Critical after combat, fracture the target. After combat damage, dash at TL0. Yeah? Where's the judge? Because I mean the after says after on the attack it says after combat damage, dash
after combat damage?
at dash at TL0. Does that mean I have to move?
No, you choose.
So I could move?
Wait, are you reading the part?
Yeah, it says right here. So it's the critical effect of the machine gun, or it's after combat damage, which my combat damage or your damage?
Your damage.
Okay, so
But
I did.
You didn't crit.
Yeah, but I didn't crit. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's no crit, so you don't get the move.
Okay. And then I think that's it for me.
Yes.
Okay, so it's your turn.
Yeah, it goes Gundam first. Yes.
I'm just curious, are you playing?
I think that was a bad move on my play. I don't think I should have done that.
Is that 11 health?
Yeah. The Heat Hawk's at Hawk's at 11. He's at 7.
Correct. Deal up to 5 damage if I want.
You're going to need to drop three. So you get 6 cards total in your 2-phase game out of the 9.
That's about it. Yeah.
Normally these
I will move.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think you want to do that because if you do that, if you attack from that direction,
You
wouldn't...
can't attack me. You have to attack the garrison to use it, yeah.
Well, that's your garrison.
Yeah, but since it's my garrison, you can't attack me directly. You have to destroy the garrison first. Because
Oh,
remember
true.
what happened here? I can't attack you or that.
Okay.
Directly. I have to attack the garrison closest to me.
Then what do these things do? I don't really get this.
So that's your points for the map. Whoever wins the board.
Okay. Gotcha.
So I think from there, I have to beam rifle for 5.
Okay.
Because that is 4 slots away. 9, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, 6. Sorry, because it gives +1 strength by default.
Yeah.
6. Right there. So you do up to 6 damage if I crit +2.
Okay.
Right. Max of 7 damage?
So you could potentially take him out.
Yes.
There is a crit. Yeah, he's dead. Those are all hits.
10, 6, 4, 6.
Yeah, they're all hits. And then you got a crit, so then he's dead.
Yeah, because crit here is +2 damage.
Yeah, and then that would be over 7. So he's got 7 health. So he would be dead.
Yes.
So what do I just move him?
I move my Gundam of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
So you just fire off the next.
Now it is my turn.
I still have Gundam.
Do you get victory points for doing that?
For the kill, yes. What is your victory points on your team? 4? 2? Right?
Oh yeah, 4.
So I guess let's make it easy. I'll do 5 -1. -1 from there.
Once you
So I'm at 6
control
right
the
now.
objective, it remains under your control until the opponent wins a contest.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. It's my turn. I have to be the enforcer.
Yes, yeah, you do go next, yeah.
And then
Unless it's color based. I'm not sure.
no, we so it's we go back and forth, and then so then I would go, and then you would go, and then I would go, and then
That's fine. Yeah,
or would he go? I don't understand. No.
So we're on this phase.
Okay.
So we're here.
Yeah, we didn't move it. Okay, that makes
So
sense.
we're here right
Okay.
now. So it is your go now because my Gundam already moved.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So mine's enforcer.
Yes.
Ooh, that's brutal. I'm gonna move 2, right next to Gundam here, Amuro. I'm gonna do shield bash or shoulder bash, and I'm gonna roll 3, and it's gonna cost me 2.
So I'll move you down 2.
Yeah.
1, 2, you're at 9.
Okay. 2 hits.
3.
No, it's 4.
Oh, you need 1 misses. Roll 4 or higher to hit. Okay.
Yeah, so I get 2 hits.
2 hits. I take 2 damage. You get a 5 victory.
Yeah. And then, nope, never mind. I think that's it.
I think that's all you can do right now.
Yeah, that's all I can do. And then it's your turn with gun cannon.
So then I will.
This guy. Who hasn't moved the entire time, by the way. Right? No, he went up.
If I move up, that's 2, right?
Yeah.
Now I just just want to learn line of sight because if I'm standing, no, I have to be on the edge. I have to be on the edge. Right? Because I can't be from the middle shooting.
You wouldn't. You can't be from the middle shooting. Yeah, I don't think you could see me from there.
Yeah, no, it shows like you can't see.
Yeah.
So 1, 2. Go here for 3. Right? Yeah. Right? Is that the 3 movements?
Yeah, you can do 3. That makes sense. 1, 2, 3.
Because we're going based on that Texas.
No, I know. Yeah. No, it makes sense.
2,
Makes sense.
3, yeah.
Okay.
And then I will use beam rifle onto
Okay.
Rotate it. Forward. Roll 2 dice.
Okay.
And then I pay a cost of 2.
Interesting.
Let's see if it hits. 4 and 8, so 2 damage.
So you have 1 hit and 2 hits.
2 hits.
So I take 2 damage. Okay. This guy's dead.
Yes.
Then it's your turn. What? What?
Since your unit died, since I removed it, right?
Well, it's dead.
Yeah, so the unit's removed.
Quick announcement to my Gundam Assemble demo participants. This is getting to be that
Okay.
3-minute warning.
So he ended his turn, but he killed my next guy, and would it just go back to his turn again?
So that we can
Yes,
reset
so
for the next one.
which one was it? Sharp
I want to thank you all for
Yeah,
coming.
he killed this like a turn or two
so
ago.
the token stays on the
Check in with
timeline.
Sam so you can
Okay.
get your
It was here.
Thank you all very much.
Is that 7?
Yeah.
So whenever you die, you just get a 2 penalty,
Okay.
and then that goes to the unit card.
Oh, so it goes back to base.
Goes back to base.
Not yet. Not until
No.
it's his turn for an activation, but it does go to the unit card. That's
Okay.
where we go to. So because he's destroyed
Okay.
the unit card.
So all
Okay.
his abilities are gone too, right?
No, abilities are permanent. So the only things that go away on death are damage counters and debuffs.
Okay.
You keep all upgrades.
Oh.
But
When it's permanent, it's permanent.
so he just had a turn,
Yeah.
and since his character would be the next one in the next phase still, it's just him again.
So he's doing. He basically did Gundam, blew something up, and then now it's gun tank.
Yeah.
That's correct. So
Okay.
the only time it alternates is when they're multiple on the same round.
Gotcha.
So he's going to be able to do gun tank, but then it'll go to your Zaku 2 Enforcer, gun cannon. blah,
Gotcha.
blah, blah, blah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So your turn again. It's strange how this works, Amuro. Why do you keep winning? No.
Oh. I think these garrisons go on the card that it took it.
No, they go with our victories.
I just put them there because I had no idea. The reason I'm bringing that up is I just read forward our trade position because it states here gain +1 strength for each turn your garrison for each garrison you've rescued. So I don't get command cards, but I think that might just make it easier to explain a little bit better.
Well, I don't think it matters where it is. I think it's any garrison you have, right? It doesn't say the unit.
Yeah, and it just depends what you use the command cards.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be on the unit.
I don't have hard entry minutes. Okay, so I'm on gun tank. Gun tank is there.
Yeah. Stinky gun tank.
So 5. I think I just have to do that just to see what happens.
Okay, do a thing.
Yeah, I think I will move back.
Okay, 1.
And then I will use shoulder low recall cannons towards Char. Since I have the +1 in strength, I roll 5, and that costs 4.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
+1. So I roll 5. If you finish in that, or you finish
All hits.
3, 4. Crit hits. You finish the survey, I give you a layer, just let me know.
Okay.
Crit gives you a gentleman, you finish the survey, I give you a layer, just let me know.
So yeah, 5 hits and a crit.
5 hits on a crit. The crit is a slow is.
Hey, all my Gundam Assemble attendees. Unfortunately, now it is time to go. We'll answer the last few questions. Staff the others.
Okay.
But if you guys are gonna start wrapping up and do those surveys, make sure you come see us on the way out to get your lanyard. Want to thank you all for coming. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Take care.
Okay. My guy has 1 life left.
Yeah. It would be next turn. It would be you and Zaku 2. I think they want to wrap us up.
It's like kill team. 40K kill team. There's okay, there's we're about
My shit, baby.
Okay. Well, they'll move it back for us. We don't have to touch anything.
Oh yeah, no, I moved some of my stuff back because I remember where it was. But it doesn't matter.
I don't care.
Very good.
Well, GG. I think I was on the way out.
No, because you still have technically one of your units come back on this turn.
I would have had the enforcer, but then your gun cannon would have came over. I had 1 health left on Char. You would have knocked out Char, and then I would have been down. So he would have came back, but I would have been down Char. So then I would have to move this guy all the way up there, and then you would just bull rush me because you had the.
I think you would have killed Amuro. Amuro already had about 7 damage. So if you had the right attack, you could.
That's like not even half though. Like, I mean it's half, but I think you would have lived.
But this is interesting. I do like it. Before I head out. These are so we're never gonna sleep again. Oh my goodness. We just hurt.
Okay, thank you. Do you get lanyards for the painting session too?
As long as you finish the survey.
Okay. I'll see you again then.
Hopefully. Thank you, sir. See if we can get you set up.
GG.
It may not stick as well.
Okay.
So what you're going to do is whatever your base color is, there's a color guide on the back.
Okay.
You don't have to follow, you can paint it how you want. You want to start with the lighter color first and then go darker.
So probably this one, and then a black.
Yeah.
Okay.
But because these are acrylics, you're gonna want to mix it with water.
Okay.
Don't like
here.
pour it. It's gonna be way too much. What I would do is get your brush and like dip it in and scoop a little bit, and then I would add water until it's like a melted ice cream consistency.
Okay.
You don't want it to be too thick. You don't want it to be too thin.
Okay.
Yeah, and I would do like light coats.
Okay. Thank
for
you.
the whole base color.
Now, guys, for this painting session, I will say this is my first time painting anything, but they did bring out the official Bandai Gundam paints, which I thought was really cool. And I will say that I have done some Gunpla kits. I've not painted, but I have built some Gunpla kits. And I will say it's interesting to see that this painting session, instead of just being like a little minifigure that you paint, it's also in like a Gunpla rack that you have to cut out, which is super, super interesting. It just brings another level of detail and another level of Bandai Gundamness to this game, which I think is a lot of fun. I ended up picking up Char Zaku. They had 3 different units. They had the Bazooka Zaku and then Heat Hawk Zaku. They didn't have all the colors for this, so if you ended up getting the Heat Hawk Zaku, you couldn't paint your Heat Hawk red and yellow, unfortunately. So that's why I went with Char's Zaku here, just because I had all the colors for it. But this is a wonderfully peaceful setting to paint. I will say I wish I had another like 20 minutes to paint, maybe even another hour. I would have not been so sloppy. Some people were doing masterpieces, but as this was my first time painting, I was a little rough around the edges. Both sessions were about an hour long each, so not much time to really digest everything. The play session was a lot of fun. It was a lot more popular on day 1, and then on day 2 no one really wanted to go back in and play. Everyone wanted to paint, and which is funny because on day 1 no one wanted to paint, but everyone wanted to play. So I think once all of the tournaments finished, people were coming out and they were realizing, oh, I want to go get my free little minifigures, so they were all coming for the paint session, and there was a huge standby line for it. And I thought about doing another paint session on the day 2. I just was like, I don't want to wait in that line. I waited in so many, I didn't wait in so many lines, but I just didn't want to wait in lines. It's just not fun to wait in lines. There's other stuff I could have been doing. everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to like and subscribe, and check out my main channel again if you want to catch more vlogs. Just go check it out. Bye.